I used to dance in my kitchen every Sunday morning. My knees would bend with ease, my feet twirled without hesitation, and my laughter echoed through the house like a song from a younger life. But by the time I turned 72, even walking to the mailbox felt like a slow crawl through pain. The stairs became mountains. My legs, once strong and graceful, betrayed me. I felt trapped inside a body that was forgetting how to live. One afternoon, I sat on the porch, rubbing my knees, tears welling up not just from the ache, but from the loss of freedom of identity. My granddaughter Emma placed her tiny hand on mine and asked, "Grandma, why don't you dance anymore?" That question broke something open in me. I missed dancing. I missed being me. So I began searching not for expensive creams or another prescription, but something gentle, something real. That's when I stumbled upon a simple recipe tucked away in an old journal, something my own grandmother used back in the day. Just 3 ingredients. Nothing fancy. But within weeks of trying it, I felt something shift. My legs didn't groan so loudly anymore. I started walking farther. Then came the moment I danced with Emma in the kitchen again. I'm not here to sell you a miracle, but I want to share what helped me take 20 years off my legs, not with surgery, not with pills, but with something you might already have in your cabinet right now. As we age, it's easy to blame the aches and stiffness on just getting older. But there's more to it than that. The truth is, our muscles and bones begin to weaken gradually, starting as early as our 40s, and unless we take action, that decline only accelerates. Our bodies naturally lose muscle mass over time, a condition known as sarcopenia. Without regular movement, especially strength-building activity, this muscle loss becomes more severe. Combine that with a slowdown in calcium absorption and reduced production of certain hormones, and our bones begin to lose density too. That's how osteoporosis and joint degeneration sneak up on us. For many seniors, this means more than just pain. It can mean a higher risk of falling, longer recovery times after injuries, and eventually losing independence. Tasks like gardening, grocery shopping, or even getting out of bed can become exhausting or even dangerous. And the legs, our pillars, are often the first to show signs. We may notice our steps getting shorter, stairs becoming more intimidating, or that we need to rest more often. But it doesn't have to be this way. When I began to understand what was really happening inside my body, I realized I couldn't wait for doctors or medications to fix me. I needed to support my body from the outside and inside, starting with something natural, easy to apply and proven by generations before me. That's when I remembered what my grandmother used to swear by and decided to give it a try. When I first heard about it, I almost laughed. A homemade remedy, something out of my grandmother's era. In a world full of high-tech medicine scans and supplements, it sounded outdated, like a superstition from the past. But then I remembered how my grandma at nearly 80 would kneel in her garden for hours without complaint. She moved with ease, her legs never swelling, her joints never cracking the way mine did. She always kept a little amber bottle in the pantry, one she called her elixir for old bones. I never asked what was in it until now. I dug through her old recipe notebook, a treasure trove of yellowed pages and ink-stained corners. And there it was, a simple recipe using 3 ingredients you could find at any drugstore. No exotic herbs, no fancy devices, just a mix of things that had stood the test of time. It wasn't backed by television commercials or glossy labels, but it worked. It worked for her. It worked for me. And now I believe it can work for anyone who's been told to just live with the pain. This isn't a cure. It's a helping hand passed down from one generation to the next, and maybe now from me to you. Let me walk you through what's inside this humble remedy, because once you understand how each ingredient works, it becomes clear why this combination is so powerful. The first ingredient is aspirin. Yes, the same aspirin many of us take for heart health. But in this case, we're not swallowing it. Instead, we crush it and use it topically. Aspirin is a potent anti-inflammatory. It reduces swelling and eases pain by helping block the chemical messengers in the body that trigger inflammation. When applied directly to the skin, it can bring relief right where you need it, especially in sore knees, ankles, or hips. Next is iodine. This one might surprise you. Most of us associate iodine with wound care, and rightly so. It has powerful antiseptic and antimicrobial properties, but it also helps increase blood flow to the skin and underlying tissues. That circulation boost is key for delivering nutrients, clearing toxins, and triggering your body's own healing response in muscles and joints. The third ingredient is isopropyl alcohol, commonly known as rubbing alcohol. It's not just a carrier, it enhances absorption. It helps the other ingredients penetrate the skin barrier more effectively and provides a cooling effect that temporarily numbs surface pain. Individually, these ingredients offer modest benefits, but together they form a synergy, a blend that relieves pain, reduces inflammation, fights off infection, and restores comfort to tired, aching legs. And the best part, you don't need a prescription. You don't need a specialist. You just need a few items from your local pharmacy and a little patience. This recipe is the very definition of low-cost, low-risk, and potentially life-changing for seniors who feel like their bodies are slipping away. It's time we bring back the wisdom that modern medicine often overlooks. Now let's walk through how to actually make this remedy at home. Don't worry, it's simple, safe, and doesn't require any special tools or kitchen skills. Here's what you'll need: 10 aspirin tablets, each 300 milligrams, 100 milliliters of iodine, 300 milliliters of isopropyl alcohol, ideally 70% or higher. First, find a clean glass jar with a tight-fitting lid. This will be your storage container. Start by pouring the iodine and the isopropyl alcohol into the jar. Stir gently to blend the liquids together. Then crush the aspirin tablets into a fine powder. This can be done with a spoon rolling pin or even the back of a glass. Add the powdered aspirin into the liquid mixture and stir slowly until everything is evenly distributed. Don't worry if it doesn't dissolve completely, that's normal. Now comes the most important part. Let it sit for 21 days. Store the jar in a dark, cool place like a cabinet or closet. This resting period allows the ingredients to fully activate and bond together for maximum effectiveness. Shake the jar gently every few days to keep the mixture uniform. After 3 weeks, it's ready for use. I like to think of those 21 days as an investment. While the mixture quietly works its magic in the jar, you're already on your way to healing. And once it's ready, you'll have a natural, time-tested remedy in your hands, one that just might change the way your legs feel every single day. Once your mixture is ready, applying it is just as easy as making it. To use it, take a small amount of the liquid and gently massage it onto the affected area: your knees, calves, ankles, or even lower back. A cotton ball or your fingertips works fine as long as your hands are clean. Make sure to use slow circular motions to help the mixture absorb and stimulate circulation. You can also soak a small piece of clean cloth in the solution, apply it as a compress, and leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. This is especially helpful if you're dealing with swelling or persistent stiffness. It's best to apply the remedy twice a day, once in the morning and again before bedtime. This helps reduce inflammation throughout the day and encourages recovery while you sleep. Now, a few important notes: do not apply this mixture to open wounds, irritated skin, or if you have an allergy to aspirin or iodine. Always do a small patch test first on your forearm to check for any skin reaction. Used wisely, this remedy becomes a powerful addition to your daily routine, gentle enough for everyday use, yet strong enough to bring back movement, flexibility, and comfort. A small habit with big returns. I'm not the only one who found relief through this remedy. After I started seeing results, I shared it with a few friends at our weekly church gathering. To my surprise, almost everyone knew someone who had heard of a similar blend from way back when. My neighbor Harold, 76, had been struggling with chronic knee pain since a fall a few years ago. He told me he'd tried every gel patch and prescription his doctor could offer, but nothing seemed to last. After using this homemade solution twice a day for 2 weeks, he called me with excitement in his voice. "I stood up this morning without wincing," he said. "That hasn't happened in years." Another friend, Louise, 81, had swelling in her ankles that made her dread getting out of bed. She used compresses soaked in the mixture each night. Within 10 days, the swelling reduced, and she started walking her dog again, something she hadn't done in months. These aren't isolated miracles. They're stories of seniors reclaiming pieces of their lives one step at a time with something simple, affordable, and natural. It's not magic, but when you've lived with pain for so long, even a little bit of comfort feels like a gift. While the remedy works wonders on its own, pairing it with gentle movement can accelerate your progress. You don't need to join a gym or push yourself into pain. Simple activities like morning stretches, light leg lifts, while seated, or a 10-minute walk around the block can do more than you think. Movement helps boost blood circulation, strengthens the surrounding muscles, and encourages your joints to stay mobile. I began by walking from the front porch to the mailbox and back just that. Over time, it became 2 blocks, then the whole neighborhood. And on the days I applied the remedy afterward, I noticed even more relief. Motion is lotion, they say. And it's true. This isn't about becoming athletic. It's about keeping the gift of independence alive. About telling your legs I still need you and giving them every reason to respond with strength and grace, just like they used to. Looking back, I wish I hadn't waited so long to take my leg pain seriously. I spent years accepting discomfort as a natural part of aging, telling myself that's just how it goes. But it doesn't have to be. The day I found that old recipe wasn't just the day I made a remedy, it was the day I took back control. I stopped chasing quick fixes and started listening to the wisdom of those who came before me. My grandmother never had fancy machines or modern clinics. What she had was trust in nature, patience, and the discipline to care for herself every day. So here's what I want you to know: your body hasn't given up on you. Maybe it's just waiting for you to give it what it really needs: kindness, care, and consistency. This remedy isn't a miracle cure, but it's a bridge between the pain you've learned to live with and the ease you thought you'd lost forever. If this story resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone you love. A sister, a friend, a neighbor. You never know whose steps you might lighten just by passing along a little piece of old wisdom that still works wonders today.